Alright guys, good morning man, we have the information about Season 3 of the Limit Breaker quest. It will come out, as you can see, again at the 8th. And probably this is gonna be the schedule for the Limit Breaker quest every single time. From the 8th until the 20th or something like that. That was like this month. In August at least, it was until the 18th or something like that. So probably this is gonna be like the schedule onwards. And the slot 1 is gonna be Arankar enemies, mind enemies as well. And you have heart attribute damage increase, melee damage increase, killer effect if you have it, freeze on the floor, of course. Not really that bothersome. Whenever you have status elements on the floor, you don't really need to care that much. It's pretty easy to evade them. And damage from enemies attribute, stuff like that, you know, halved. Whenever you have these minded heart stuff, they always say this in the rules. For slot 2, enemies are no affiliation. Heart enemies, you have to be a melee unit. You have to have the killer, you know, damage again halved. And paralysis on the ground, right? And the third slot is always the flag slot. And we have Arankar enemies, and you kinda need to be a power unit, but if you don't want to, you don't really need to be, right? And there will be burn on the ground. Now let's check it out real quick in the album section of the game. What type of units are we gonna use for this one? It's pretty straightforward, if you know what I mean. Always slot 1 and slot 2 is a little bit more restricting. And slot 3 is gonna be the flag slot, right? So first of all, Heart, Arankar killer, and melee unit. Our units are gonna be Killgay, Ichigo, and Yoruichi. Not really other options. I keep it a stack. We do have Isane as well, who could be like the 4th best option here. But as you can see, not many options after these guys here, man. Like, okay, Zang, it's okay, you know. Isagi, it's okay. Senjumaru, it's okay. But these are not gonna be great units, right? So mainly, like, the best unit that you can use absolutely is Killgay. And why Killgay, you may ask, and not Ichigo? Is because Killgay is overall just gonna be more useful here. You do have the Rampage, that is 2% damage every single time that you kill a single enemy until 100%, right? That's 100% free damage. You can stack it up super easily, and we have all seen how the Team Party recharge skill will affect the Limit Breaker quest. Whenever you're getting into the next lobby, the next room, your abilities are already almost refreshed, like almost fully refreshed, which is really good. And that's why Killgay is gonna be the absolute best one here. Again, for the second option, if you don't have Killgay, you can use the Ichigo, you can use the Yoruichi, and if you don't have any of these, then I guess you have Isane. If you don't have any of them, then definitely try out to like do it with Zangetsu or many other options if you want. You can even ignore the hard one if you really want to. I wouldn't suggest it, and that way maybe use like Ishita or I guess Shinji or whatever. These are okay. Maybe Mayuri as well, but definitely the best option is Killgay, Ichigo, and Yoruichi. For slot 2, guys, we have a mind unit. We need to use a mind unit with a no affiliation killer ability, and we need to be melee as well. So our best option is gonna be White, the 8th anniversary White, and after that, not that many great options as you guys can see. Like, okay, we have the Minigin, okay, we have these characters, but these ones are not that good nowadays anymore, and they are gonna struggle to do DPS. I really wanna test out the Yamamoto, how he will perform here, but I don't think it's gonna be that insane. Even though he has the guaranteed infliction, guaranteed status element against the heart no affiliation enemies. Now that one is gonna be good, but who knows if it's gonna be enough, right, for Yama to be useful right here, because that way if we touch the no affiliation enemies, we're getting the burn and the laceration, which is huge DPS. But again, and we have the debuff as well, so if you can be smart and save your debuff for the big enemies, you know, the boss stages essentially, you can debuff them, you can hit them, you know, with the burn and the laceration, and maybe that way you can actually succeed. But of course, the best unit is gonna be White. Again, we can ignore the mind stuff here, but I wouldn't really like suggest it. But yeah, I mean, you can use Neliel, you can use Gin as well if you really want to. You can use the Ichigo, you can use the Ishita, right? So we have a couple of options, but again, keep it in mind, the best one is gonna be White, and it's not even close, right? And for the third slot, which is the flag slot right now, you can use so many multiple units right there. You don't really have like anything crazy. You need to be an Arankar killer. That's the only thing that you have to like look forward to. to, and if you want to be power to get like the more damage output, you can be, right? Our best option is gonna be the Mayuri. Mayuri overall is not as strong of a unit in my opinion. Yes, he does have like great damage output, he does have a good damage output, but the skills are gonna be a little bit wacky, and especially when going for speedruns, you need to be at the middle of the map, which is not really gonna be like, oh no, you know, like sometimes you're gonna miss enemies with the Mayuri, and we have to see, of course, how things are gonna turn out with the maps and stuff and the spawners. Maybe we can work around with the Mayuri and stuff. He has a nice special move. He does have good amount of status ailments, so I think he's gonna be the best one right there. But again, keep it in mind, you can use anyone that you want to. You can use Yumichika, you can use Bruno, you can use Ichigo, Rukia, and all of these options are gonna work fine. And again, if we taking off this stuff, you know, the red one, we can play with whatever else we want. Let's just say maybe for slot 1 you're gonna use Yoruichi, and for slot 3 you're gonna use Killgate. That's perfectly fine as well in my opinion. Okay, I mean, you can use Ichigo as well if you want to, stuff like that. Ishita, not really. But because, you know, the enemies are green, so you're just like putting yourself in a disadvantage. So not blue units, but anything that is not blue, it's gonna work perfectly fine. But again, as a nice recap, for the slot 1, we have to be Horta Rankar Killer and melee as well. So Killgate is the best one, after then Ichigo, Yoruichi, Isane, in this order, right? After that, second slot, best unit white. After that, not really like anything, if you know what I mean, like nothing too crazy. But we have to do our testing with the Yamamoto, and for the third slot you have to be red and a Rankar Killer. And you know, of course Mayuri is gonna be the best one, but you can work around with the stuff again, you know, like other stuff like Rukia, Ichigo, Bruno, stuff like that. Let me take off the melee. Yumichika is gonna work as well, so, you know, so like we do have the options here for the third slot if you don't have the best one. But yeah, I mean, mainly these are gonna be the vibes, guys, right? Like Killgate, White, Mayuri. These are the vibes. I'm looking forward to Season 3. You know, I think Limit Breaker is always super fun to play. And it comes out in like 5 days. From now on, like 5 days. And yeah, man, thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye-bye.